Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works, that super secret research and development division of Dr. Jet Laboratories, where we sit around all day and we invent things and we make stuff. Most of the stuff we make is model boats. There's guitars and home repairs and other things involved, but for the most part, we deal with model boats and jet juice. Now, I've repositioned the camera, and the jet juice used to be right in the frame. I don't know if it is now or not. We'll find out. Today, I want to talk about what is a big problem for these small boats. And the big problem is right there. There's not a lot of real estate inside here. Once you get a motor and batteries and a servo and receiver in here, there's not a lot of room. And I'm going to run a motor this size, and the motor's rated kind of nominally at normal operating range at about 30 amps, but it'll take bursts of twice that. So for this little motor, I need a speed control that can give me 60 amps without freaking out, 50 or 60 amps. So let's see. This is still available today. This is a 50 amp water-cooled marine speed control from Hobby King. It's bigger than the freaking motor. You know, it's a whole lot bigger. It fills up the inside of this boat. Now, here's a 90 amp speed control from the same manufacturer. They're identical on the outside. My guess is the 90 amp one has more FETs on the FET board, and that's the only difference. So it's going to play havoc finding a speed control for this. Now, here's some of the little speed controls that I run on some of my little boats. For a long time, I was using this Mystery 30. And, this thing's just ubiquitous. They're $5 or $10. And I used to run these because they're cheap. Although, it may have been this particular one. Oh, maybe not. I have the other connectors on there. When it loses radio signal, it goes to full power. Or at least the version I had did that. So I pulled it and I replaced it with one of these. What is one of these? Okay, so here's the Mystery 30. It will fit in here. This is about the right size, but nowhere near the current capacity that I need. Now, this is a Shark 30. I like the programming on these. These were originally airplane receivers, and you have to fool around with them at the startup to get them to recognize a pistol radio. You got to go through all the beeps and business. This is the Shark 30. Being a surface radio, it already adapts to pistol radios. And quite frankly, with these G2, the Generation 2 ZTW speed controls, I've had pretty good success with them. They've been pretty problem-free. But again, it's 30 amps, and we're getting bigger. I thought these things were supposed to get smaller as times go by. So anyway, they make a number of sizes of this. I think I have a 40 in one of my boats. This is the 60. Now, the 60, it's kind of getting big, and maybe it could go up alongside the motor and they could all go together. I'm going to do this tray, so maybe the speed control would be on the tray. But the 60 is kind of like right at the edge of what I would consider appropriate. But now get a load of this. And this is why I use this speed control in so many of my boats. It's rated at 120 amps. It's easily programmable. You can program this with a Bluetooth device. You can program it with a programming card. You can program it with your computer. You can program it with your radio and the beeps. It also has a second channel with just a single wire. So what this will do is you put that in channel 3, and you hit channel 3, and with the channel 3 engaged, it will bump up the timing if you're running Y-wind motors. And it's the last lap, and you're behind by about 10 or 12 feet. You could hit the turbo and damn the smoke, full speed ahead. You know what I'm saying? So it has that advantage. And look at this. It's physically smaller. It's a quarter of an inch lower. It's thinner. It's roughly the same length. The caps make it a bit longer. But that's why I like this particular speed control. Other than these little 30 amp things, it's the smallest thing going. And I can put it, remember, I'm going to make my drop-in tray. I'll have a motor mount plate here and a support for it. I can just Velcro this to the support, and look at here, it'll all be one nice, neat package. Oh, you're going to like what I'm going to do for the extended. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for the extended shaft. So I'm going to make the motor mount plate that goes in here, and to get past the stuffing tube, you know, I have to have the coupler on the end of the thing and put it all together at once. It has to act like a motor. So I found some carbon fiber tubing that's exactly a quarter of an inch inside diameter. And I'm going to put 2 full ceramic bearings in it. And then I've got one of those little vibration damper couplers, and I can go 1/8 inch to 5 millimeters or 1/8 to 1/8. So I could, in this mount, swap out that TP motor for the new motor. I could just swap them out and see how they compare to each other. So that's my choice, 120 amps. Do I need that much? No. Is it nice to have that much? Yes. You can never have too much amps. I could put, that 400 amp speed control that Big B's running. I could put that in here if I could find room for it and run, my little tiny motor on it, and it'd be real happy. The speed control would probably get up to room temperature plus 0.5 degree, It just wouldn't be working very hard. So that's my next step, and you know what? It's getting this speed control. These others, they need to go in bigger boats. Okay, boys and girls, one last question. I have ordered graphics from Cali Graphics, the same gal that did the graphics for the American Spirit. I've ordered I think it's 1991. Anyway, the all-red Bud T3. Now, the Bud T3, there were actually 3 versions of the T3. It crashed. It blew over a couple of times, and each time they rebuilt it, it was a different boat. So I think the first T3 had the gold with the red, kind of like the Miss Budweiser that MRP sold a long time ago with the 2 motors in it. So it had that color scheme with Bernie Little driving it. And then I think he blew it over, and then it went to the all red, and that one blew over too. So this is going to be the all red. So here's the question, boys and girls. I'm going to build this thing as a speedster. I'm going to, say screw the scale look, and I'm going to put the flaps on here. But and I want to build it just as a little speedster, but these things have weight. But what do you think? Would a speedster benefit from something to keep it tracking straight? I know the Jag team, they run stabilizers on their boat, and go down the road at 40 miles an hour and hold this out the window, or just hold your hand out the window. There's some force on that. So this may be a benefit in keeping it tracking straight. It would look cool. So what do you think? Should I build it as a speedster and pay the price of having these on? And I think if I put these on, unlike the bigger boat with the removable ones, I may just glue these in permanent and say, there you go. I welcome your opinions. Until next time, jet out.